What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we're going to have an honest conversation about the reading section for the PTE academic test. Now, previously, before they made changes to the test, students were allotted between 33 and 35 minutes for the reading task. This gave you plenty of time to complete your answers, recheck the grammar, and feel comfortable in that time section. However, after August of 2025, when they made a lot of fundamental changes to the test, the task is now different. You still have the same amount of questions, which is approximately 15 to 20 questions in the reading part. However, the time management is much different. Students are now given between 20 and 25 minutes for the entire reading section. Now that's a lot of time shaved off of the exam, so you, as the exam taker, must think more strategically. So if you have been preparing for the exam for a year or 2 years, you might find that today your reading score maybe looks different, perhaps it's even gone lower, but you still are improving your English. What that means is that you are taking the test like a regular reading test. Simply, that's not how they do it anymore. This reading section is now more about time management. We have to build up our skills that we'll learn in this video so that you can take the test and still get high scores, get that 90 bandwidth for the PTE academic reading section, and do it comfortably without exploding your brain. What we are expected to be doing here is to recognize different types of English patterns. That'll help you to move much faster. We also want to understand which questions are really high value and which questions are low value. And let me tell you, there are some low value questions that might sneak up on you, but we need to move past those a lot. So in today's video, we're going to look at the time management strategy to help you get a high score or your desired score for PTE academic. Now, I'm Scott from HZad Education. Every week we post videos to help you maximize your score because I understand that you are using this exam to immigrate to another country, get a better job, or enroll in university. And these are big life decisions. So we're not going to waste money taking the test multiple times. Let's get into today's video. Now, first, let's take a look at the heavy hitters of the exam. You'll see summarize a written text actually comes from the writing section, but you are awarded a lot of scores for your reading. In fact, it is one of the biggest hitters for this part of the exam. Fill in the blanks, the reading fill in the blanks is also worth a lot of marks. So we're going to focus our attention there. These two together make up the majority of your reading scores. And then there are some other ones that are quite low value. Now, when I say low value, it's just low worth, or it doesn't account largely for your actual 90 score in the PTE exam. That means we don't want to waste time here. If you jump into the exam thinking about this, you will guaranteed get a higher score automatically. So reorder the paragraphs and then multiple choice single answer, multiple choice multiple answer. Although they do have a lot of questions, they're just simply low value. It doesn't account a lot for your score. Now let's talk about the big boss. Summarize a written text. Yes, it is in the writing section, but it accounts a lot for our reading score because you have to read and then summarize. Now, the biggest problem I see with our students is that people try to simply be too smart or use too many strategies or hacks or templates that you see online. You could check out, there's loads of templates, but in 2026, these templates are just simply not working anymore. And so we need to strategize differently. When you try to rewrite this part in your own words, or you try to compress the text too much, it's really impossible to get the full content scores. So we're going to read a text and then we have to summarize in one sentence. There is a reason why they do this, because summarizing large pieces of information into concise sentences is actually quite challenging for non-native and native speakers alike. In this task, grammar means everything. If your grammar is not complete, then you will lose a lot of marks and perhaps even get a 0 for summarize a written text, and we cannot afford to get a 0 because this is a heavy hitter. So the technique is simple. It's very straightforward. We're going to take direct sentences from the transcript or from the text, and we are going to connect them clearly and logically, often using transitional words or connector words like and, therefore, because, but. If we copy these sentences directly, you will get a high mark for multiple reasons. One, the AI algorithm is understanding that you have grabbed the right information and the sentence looks complete. Two, it also makes sure that you're using high-level vocabulary that matches the original text. Now, the problem that some students come into this is that they might not collect the right sentence. So as you are summarizing the written text, you do have to ensure that you find the main point or the main idea. Often this will come within the main body paragraph. The topic sentence or the introduction sentence will give you some hints. So you'll see something like the main idea or the body of the paragraph will introduce the subject. Make sure to grab that and then collect it. However, sometimes it's not going to be in the introduction paragraph, so we do need to read through it fast and collect the main idea. Once you have one or two pieces of information, go ahead, put those together. A big tip here is that you might see transitional words like however, although, or but. That tells me there are two parts to this text. So there might be like a positive but a negative, and you'll want to grab both of those sections, just snippets of the sentence, and combine them together to make one full complete sentence that summarizes the text. Use your own intuition here, use your own logic. You have been studying English and you know what to do, but this is the best tip. Copy and paste sentences here. Just a quick note, sometimes the copy and paste is not an available function when you are taking the exam, so you might have to manually enter that sentence, but you can enter it as you see it on the screen. And just a quick request, guys, if you like the information in this video and our channel, please go ahead and actually like the video or subscribe to the channel. It does help us out and it just makes us more motivated to provide awesome content for you guys. So to keep things simple, let's go through actual time management that you can follow so that you can master all of these questions within that 20 to 25 minute window. Summarize a written text will be the largest part of the reading section. You can have about 2 to 3 minutes per question here. Maximum 3 minutes. Watch the clock very carefully. Then there is reading fill in the blanks. There are two types. There's the drop down, so you click the drop down, fill in the blanks drop down, and there's also fill in the blanks drag and drop. Both of them have similar skills that they are testing. However, here we'll spend about 1.5 to 2 minutes, no more. If you go over 2 minutes, that means you won't have enough time to do the other questions. So do keep that on mind. We're looking for a lot of grammar and content here. Sometimes the structure is quite important, so you really can't afford to go over 2 minutes for these questions. Then there comes fill in the blanks, the reading fill in the blanks. This is where a lot of students waste too much time. So I'll say it plainly, don't go over more than 1 minute. Don't go over more than 1 minute. I know it will seem almost impossible to reorder the paragraph in 1 minute, but we need to try as fast as we can to first find the topic sentence. What is the controlling idea? The sentence that explains all. Then it'll usually have a sub-point. So a topic sentence, then a sub-point, and then perhaps an example and a conclusion sentence. They almost all go in this order. So if you look for the topic sentence first. Now, do note here that you get partial points for pairs. So if you get the first and the second sentence correct, you'll get points for that. So that is why we're not going to spend more than 1 minute on reorder the paragraph. That being said, there are some areas that you can whiz past, you can go through as fast as possible without feeling guilty. Remember, we only have a maximum of 20 to 25 minutes. So choose a multiple choice, multiple answer, multiple choice, single answer. These are extremely low value questions in the reading task. Therefore, we are going to spend very little time on them, up to 30 seconds per question. If you don't know the answer, do select one because there is negative marking, so you don't want to leave it blank, but choose the option that is most logical within 30 seconds. If you need to go past it, choose one answer. We can't waste time here. Now, if you follow this type of skill, then I'm sure that you will get the desired score that you need for the reading task because we're prioritizing high value questions, and we're devaluing low value questions that just don't give us those award-winning marks. So as you jump into the exam in the next month, 2 months, or even 6 months, the one thing I want you to focus on is practice the reading section with a timer, not just with a book, because this is now a time management course. Keep in mind, summarize a written text, 3 minutes. Fill in the blanks, 2 minutes, and 1 minute for reorder the paragraph. If this time structure stresses you out, well, you're not alone. It's a time-intensive task. But luckily, there are people to help you. If you would like an individual lesson plan or someone to talk with to guide you into the PTE academic exam, well, do get in touch with us because we have private tutors that can work with you one-on-one to make sure that your skills are up to speed and that you'll get the 90 out of 90 on the PTE academic test or your desired score to do what you need with the test. If you're looking for more specific videos on reading, writing, speaking, or listening, check it out because we have loads of videos that dive into deep topics. Thanks everyone for staying tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.